We begin our program with breaking news here in Istanbul. There's been a loud explosion in Istanbul's Sultanahmet district. Let's go straight to Kilmeny Duchardt, who's in the popular tourist area. She joins me on the phone. Kilmeny, what are you hearing and seeing?
Imran, we arrived on the scene not too long after this explosion took place. We're in a very, very busy tourist area in Sultanahmet. It's a center where people go to see the Hagia Sophia, the Blue Mosque, and there's a historic obelisk. The explosion happened around 10:20 a.m. there. There are reports that it was a suicide bomber. Of course, we cannot confirm that. It may have targeted a police car. There are reports that there is an overturned police car in the area. Police sources are saying at least 3 people are dead. Some are wounded. We have seen police cars, actually ambulances, coming in and out of the area. Certainly, the atmosphere is very tense, on very high alert. Lots of these tourists, they have pushed back. They've cordoned off the area. We have actually been pushed back to where some of the restaurants in Sultanahmet are. And of course, riot police have arrived on the scene. There's always a risk that when there is an explosion, there is a potential second target. So certainly police are doing their best to clear the area, to keep everyone safe. And of course, police have roped everything off, and we are truly in the center of this tourist hub where you see the Hagia Sophia, the Blue Mosque, and of course, this historic obelisk that is in the area, which is very close to where this explosion happened.
Yes, Kilmeny, as we talk to you, we're looking at a medley of images coming through from our sister channel, TRT. We're seeing images of the setting to show that it is a tourist setting. We see Hagia Sophia, we see the Blue Mosque, etc. I'm hearing that the blast took place close to the metro stop. Is that true?
You know, once again, we cannot confirm that right now, Imran, and of course, we want to be very careful what we are reporting right now, but it did appear very close to this obelisk, which is surrounded by a tramway. The metro is not too far from that, but it's unclear if it was a targeted attack, exactly what the target of the attack was.
Okay, that's the information we have for now from Kilmeny Duchardt on the phone. Kilmeny, do try to keep us updated on what's going on.
Absolutely.
Okay, so from what we heard from Kilmeny Duchardt, who's at the scene, there was an explosion at around 10:20 a.m. Istanbul time near Sultanahmet, or within Sultanahmet, in the historical district of Istanbul. It's a popular tourist district from what we're hearing, and none of this is confirmed as of yet. Remember, we're hearing from police sources that this could have been a suicide bomber, and as Kilmeny said, 3 people dead. None of this confirmed, I must reiterate. Ambulances on the scene, police are cordoning off the area, and you're looking at pictures coming through from our sister channel, TRTWorld. Let's go back now to Kilmeny. Kilmeny, are you hearing any more?
Hello?
Kilmeny Duchardt's on the phone. Kilmeny, just remind us of what you've heard so far.
Absolutely. Well, this morning at around 10:20 a.m., there was a large explosion, an explosion that some people say could be heard from the Beşiktaş area and the Taksim area. Police sources are actually backing that off, saying at least 1 person is dead. Several people have been wounded. We're in a very, very popular tourist area where people come every year to see the Hagia Sophia, the Blue Mosque, and of course the explosion was said to have taken place near this historic obelisk near the Blue Mosque. Police have roped off the area. Tourists have been pushed back. Certainly everyone is on very high alert right now. Riot police have entered the scene, certainly being careful for the potential for another attack, because that has not been ruled out at this point. There's lots of emergency vehicles on the scene. When we arrived at around shortly after 10:45 a.m., there were ambulances speeding in and off the scene, and it looked in one ambulance to be as if one of the medical professionals was performing CPR. So it's a very, very serious situation. The police here are not taking any of this lightly. They're on very high alert, pushing people back constantly, expanding the barriers, expanding the perimeter of the scene, and of course, people looking on, very concerned about what has taken place here today.
Police sources speculating for now that it was a suicide attack. That's not confirmed, is it, Kilmeny?
Not confirmed at all at this point, but we have seen those reports. We just want to be very careful about pinning that to a suicide attack. And of course, you know, Istanbul is a city that's on high alert for attacks like this, as we saw in October when the Ankara bomb claimed the lives of 100 people. And certainly police are taking this as serious as any threat that they would. And, you know, people are really being pushed and cleared out of the area as first responder vehicles, medical professionals assessing the scene, and I'm certain making sure that there are no other dangerous devices in the area.
And no claims of responsibility at all right now?
Not at the moment, Imran, but I'm sure we'll be monitoring that very closely to see exactly if someone was responsible for this, if this was a targeted explosion. We'll be monitoring that very closely to see if anyone claims responsibility for that.
Take us through once more, Kilmeny, why Sultanahmet is so important historically, from a tourist perspective, in terms of everything it stands for in this city.
Well, absolutely. You're probably in one of the most concentrated areas where tourists come. You have the Blue Mosque, you have the Hagia Sophia, which has important items important to Christian as well as Islamic history. And you also have the Grand Bazaar not too far from here. We were actually on our way to go shoot the Grand Bazaar renovation story today. And, you know, just to put that in perspective, around 90 million tourists visit the Grand Bazaar every year. It's extremely popular. It can see anywhere from 40,000 tourists into one day. So certainly this is an area that is highly concentrated with tourists. It's a destination spot for anyone coming to visit Istanbul. You can't really take a trip to Istanbul without coming to Sultanahmet. And certainly it would be a high target for an attack.
Yeah, and again, let's just reiterate, there's been no claims of responsibility. Police sources are saying that it could have been a suicide attack. That's unconfirmed so far. I've heard reports of 1 dead, I've heard reports of 3 dead, multiple injuries. Of course, the facts will crystallize as time goes on over the next few minutes and perhaps hours. But Kilmeny, let's rewind for a second and just put Turkey being on high alert in context over the past year. Let's talk a bit about Suruç and a bit about Ankara and the fact that Turkey has been no stranger to terror attacks over the past few months.
Well, absolutely, Imran. You're absolutely right about that. You know, Ankara was very recent in the minds of people here, and certainly the city has been on high alert since that has happened. And I would imagine that a lot of the security personnel and a lot of the police in this area where we're at here in Sultanahmet are ready to respond to any type of threat or attack in the area due to the high number of tourists that come here every day, every year. And of course, you know, they have been very quick to get on the scene here and respond to what's happening today.
Okay, Kilmeny, thanks ever so much for that for the moment. Just again to reiterate, Kilmeny is there on the ground in Sultanahmet on the European side of Istanbul, the historic heartland of the city. Religious significance, tourist significance. There's a grand bazaar, as she mentioned, over there. There was a blast at 10:20 a.m. local time. Reports saying it was close to the historic Egyptian obelisk in historic Sultanahmet. We're getting multiple reports of injuries, and one report said 1 dead, one said 3 dead. Police are suggesting that it was a suicide bomber. We don't have confirmation of that as of yet, but we will undoubtedly give you any confirmation that comes our way from official sources as the facts begin to crystallize. But for the moment, thank you very much, Kilmeny. We will undoubtedly come back to you in a little bit. A bombing in Istanbul, more on that when we get more information.